All praise be to the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. My name is Captain Nathaniel Allah,
And I'm
and
Officer Asher.
Connor, we here to bring you another Wednesday Wisdom, man. The class is called The Pride of Man, right? The Pride of Man. And we're going to go into, dealing with friends, how special we are when it comes to keeping the laws of the Most High, right? And we, of course, want to go over a little bit of Matthew 5 and how we deal with each other, right? Because, you can have pride in your friendships, right? You can have pride when it comes to keeping the laws. You can have pride when it comes to dealing with each other. So, I just wanted to go into this class, quick little breakdown. So we're gonna start with let's go to Sirach, or let's go to Matthew 5 first. Yeah, let's go to
Con,
Matthew 5.
you want to start out with Colossians 3:17 first?
Con.
Con, this is the book of Colossians chapter 3 verse 17. And
Mm-hmm.
whatsoever you do in word or deed, do all in the name of the Adawan Yahushua, giving thanks to the Adawan and the Father by him.
Con. So let's go to Matthew chapter 5
Mm-hmm.
and
This is the
start
book of
verse 38.
Con. This is
So
the book.
in the beginning, wait, Salak.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Start at verse 1 first, just to get like what's going on in this chapter 1st.
Oh, okay. Con. This is the book of Matthew chapter 5 verse 1. And
Mm-hmm.
seeing the multitudes, he went up into a mountain, and when he was set, his disciples came unto him.
Right.
And
So
he
this is Christ. The context here is Christ just finished dealing with the multitudes. Now he's going up into this mountain, and his disciples are following him. Right. And Shalom, brother Don Israel. Good to see you, family. So go down to verse 39.
uh,
No.
38.
Yeah, Con.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 5, and verse 38.
Uh-huh.
Ye have heard that it hath been said, an eye for an eye, and a tooth for a tooth.
Right. So where did okay. So he's speaking to the apostles right here, right? So where did they hear that at? Where's that coming from? Where did the apostles get that from? Because he said, you have heard that it had been said, right? So they've heard this before, that an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. We know that's in the laws of God, right? Actually, let's get that real quick. Let's get that. Deuteronomy. Exodus 21 and 24. So look.
'21.
And 24.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 21, and verse 24.
Mm-hmm.
An eye for an eye, an eye for an eye, a
Mm-hmm.
tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot, burning for burning, wound for wound, stripe for stripe.
So
And
everything you do, like my parents used to say, you make your bed, you gotta lay in it. So whatever you do can potentially come back onto you, right? So that's what the prophets knew. That's what the disciples knew when they were coming to Christ. That's why he said you heard this before, right? So let's go back to verse 38 in Matthew 5, right?
well,
So we
this is
know
the book
that they were keeping the law. This is all coming from the law. So we know that the Old Testament wasn't thrown out during this time, right? So go ahead.
this is the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 38.
Mm-hmm.
Ye have heard that it hath been said,
Mm-hmm.
an eye for an eye, a
Mm-hmm.
tooth for a tooth.
Mm-hmm.
But I say unto you that ye resist not evil,
Mm-hmm.
but whosoever shall smite thee on thy right cheek, turn him the other also.
Right? It says, turn to him the other also, right? So it says that you resist not evil. What does that mean to resist not evil? Right? Because remember, he's speaking amongst them, the apostles, right? So he's telling them how to deal with each other as brothers and sisters,
Right.
right? So let's read that verse again.
Verse 40. And if any man will sue thee, hold on, Salah. Verse 39. But I say unto you that ye resist not evil, but whosoever shall smite thee on thy right cheek, turn to him the other also.
Right. So if you are offended by something your brother did, or your brother, no, actually, Salak, the other way around. If your brother is offended by something that he did, and he comes, that you did, and he comes to you about it, right? You don't pass it off as because of this, and this, and that. Accept it right there where it is. Right? Accept it right there and say, is there anything else I can do for you so you don't appeal to this offense? Right? That's that turning that other cheek, right? Well, the pastors and everybody take that today is if somebody knock you out on your right cheek, let them knock you out on your left cheek too, right? So this right here is letting us know that when your brother is offended, man, you have to do everything in your power to get right with your brother.
Right.
Right? So go to verse 40.
Verse 40. And if any man will sue thee at the law.
So anybody's coming at you when it comes to the law and getting on you. Oh, brother, you missed 2 Shabbat days. Even if that brother missed 18 Shabbat days and he coming at you for 2. Right? What do you got to do? I'll read it again, Salah.
And if any man will sue thee at the law and take away thy coat, let him have thy cloak also.
So that's the humility you gotta have, right? Somebody coming at you and they say, and they tell you you did something wrong according to the law, and they want something for it, right? Give them more than what they want.
Right. It's almost like what this precept is basically saying, like, you have to like bear your shame, like bear your sin. Like you gotta admit to it, like, yeah, I effed up. I'm sorry if I offended you. My bad. Like you was bringing out, what can I do? What can I do to make amends for my offense onto you? That's how it's supposed to be.
Come on, keep reading.
Go ahead. And whosoever shall compel thee to go a mile, go with him twain.
Right. So if someone's compelling you to do something with them, like not someone, but your brother, because remember, these are the apostles, right? These are the apostles dealing with each other right here, and Christ is about to leave them soon. He knows that, so he's trying to teach them how to deal with each other. Something as simple as that is not so simple, right? So if he's compelling them, if he's saying if someone's compelling you to help them with something or walk with them with something, right? Or go that extra mile with them, go more than that mile with them, right? And there's certain situations like that. I wish I could think of a situation in my head right now to make it make sense for somebody, right? If I asked Asher, like, hey, Asher, my car broke down, this and this and that, and I lost the tire, and I'm stuck in the middle of the road or whatever, right? And Asher just had some stuff to do and this and this and that. It's a Sunday, the Israelite quote unquote day off, right? Where people get to have to do stuff on Sunday, right? He has all these things to do, but he cancels those plans, and he even goes and buys the new tire and takes it to me, right? That's going an extra mile, right? And that's if he had the money. If you don't got the money, don't do it. But I'm just, you know what I'm saying, right? You go that extra mile when your brother is in need, right? If he wants you to understand him on something, like you're there to listen, plus more. Like, yo, what can we do to fix this thing? Like that type of vibe. You know what I'm saying? And if we all acted like that, shoot, what did Christ say? Actually, the 2 greatest commandments. Let me get there really fast. I believe it's 1 second. So Matthew 22 and 40 first. Yeah. Start at verse 37. Yeah.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 22.
36. A lot.
Verse 36. Master, which is the great commandment in the law?
Mm-hmm.
Yahushua said unto him, Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first and great commandment.
Mm-hmm.
And the second is like unto it, Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
Go ahead.
On these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets.
So these two commandments, loving the Most High and loving your brother, are the two greatest commandments, and all the laws fulfilled through that. Right? So Matthew 5 is a part of that. Right? He's given us the in-depth of most in-depth breakdown of the law through Matthew 5. An in-depth breakdown on loving your brother. Right? When I was first going over this precept, it cut me, man, because I'm like, man, I don't really be doing it that as much. And whenever somebody come at me with a problem, sometimes I may just be like, nah, it was because this and this and that. That's why I did it like that. Instead of just accepting it and doing whatever it takes to make it right.
Right.
Right? Because I'll do that. And I know some brothers that do that as well. Right? But this is why Matthew 5 is beautiful. Right? Because people take Matthew 5 and apply it to everybody in the whole world, when Christ was just teaching the apostles how to deal with each other. Right? And if Christ is telling this to the apostles, how much more us, as mighty as the apostles were?
That's true.
Right? Right? So let's go back to Matthew 5.
This is the book of Matthew.
And it's a lot. And I'm just thinking about the title, The Pride of Man. It takes pride. It takes you having to understand your pride, because everybody has different levels of pride. You willing to understand your pride to be able to apply Matthew 5. Right? You got to understand how you deal with your pride to be able to understand Matthew 5. Right? So let's go back to Matthew 5. Salah.
Go ahead. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 5, and verse 40. If any man will sue thee at the law and take away thy coat, let him have thy cloak also. And whosoever shall compel thee to go a mile, go with him twain. Give to him that asketh thee, and from him that would borrow of thee, turn not thou away.
Right. So if you have money, right, and so your brother's needing and help, he may not even say it. Sometimes you gotta ask your brother, like, hey, everything good, blah blah blah, financially. That's a different type of vibe right there. When you ask your brother, like, hey, you know, like for me personally, like sometimes I like to when I be getting a little come up here and there, right? All my brothers coming up. I'll send a little 75 out there, right? I'll send this and this and that, right? Just randomly just send it because I just got to come up. But that's just the type of person I am, you know, and I'm not trying to boast in that. That's just something I did before, right? But let's read that precept one more time.
Okay. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 5, and verse 42. Give to him that asketh thee.
Right, stop right there. Give to him that asketh thee. Simple as that. When someone asks, or when your brother asks, or your sister asks, you give it to him. Right.
And it's a lot. And here's the thing too, like wisdom wise, you know, Jake is already just like the class, the pride of men. You know, Jake had to put their pride aside to ask you the question anyways.
Like, bro, I need help.
Like, you know how humble, do you know the place and the mindset of that person that has to sit there and really say, you know what, I'm gonna ask this brother for help.
Yep.
He's putting his pride to the side. Like that brother is at his most vulnerable when he asks you, hey, I'm in a situation. I really need your help.
That's definitely true, man. Like the thing with the men of the Most High, like when they're not able to provide, they feel empty inside. They don't feel good, right? When they're not able to provide for their family, they're not able to provide for themselves. It is not a good feeling. Right. People look at you crazy, right? So that when a brother comes and asks you for financial help, and it may not even be because it doesn't say it's financially, right?
Right.
Because it may not even be something financial. They may just need an ear to talk to, right? Hey, blah 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 blah, right? So it says to give to him that asketh thee, right? Keep reading,
And from him that would borrow of thee, turn not thou away.
right? So if
He
someone's
have
coming to borrow from you, do not turn away, please, right? Don't turn away from your brother that need it, man. Especially if you have it, right? If you don't have it, that's understandable. But know to who you're giving it to. And I'm gonna give you a story. So I had a brother that I didn't even know or didn't even see, right? And he asked me for $60, right? And I said, okay, cool. I gave him the 60, right? I didn't know him. He was a part of another congregation, right? A while back. Gave me the 60. Gave him the 60, because I was just like, hey, my brother need help, blah, blah, whether I know him or not, I'm gonna help him out. Right. So a couple weeks later, he just sent a Cash App request, $20, food and this and that under a message. So I seen that and I was like, something in my spirit was just not trusting him, man. So I didn't do it. And I felt bad for not doing it. But at the same time, I was like, nah, I shouldn't have done it. Right. But let me get Sirach 12:1 because this is a scripture I had to go to. Right. Go to Sirach 12:1. Khan and Shalom, Sister Mariah, Rapaya. Right. Good to see you. Hallelujah. Right. House of Chief Minister. Good to see you. Right. So go to Sirach 12:1.
Con, this is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12 and verse 1.
Uh-huh.
When thou wilt do good, know to whom thou doest it. So shalt thou be thanked for thy benefits.
Right. So there you go. When you're doing something good for somebody, know what you're doing. Don't just do it out there blindly. Right. So me and the brother may have talked this and that, and he needed help. Right. I thought I knew him just off that. But when he kept asking for stuff and not even like, it was just a weird situation, man. But that's the scripture I went to get my mind right. Right. Because knowing somebody is not just like we talking on the phone for one little second and now he need help. You know what I'm saying? You got to go a little bit deeper than that. Right. Because people can use you and take advantage of your kindness. Right. So let's get Mark 11:24. She got a precept in there. All praises. Let's go. Right. All praises. Woo. Let's see what you're talking about, Mark. Let's go.
God, this is the book of Mark, chapter 11, verse 24.
Uh-huh.
Therefore I say unto you, what things soever ye desire when ye pray, believe that ye receive them, and ye shall have them.
Keep reading. Con. Beautiful precept. It says, therefore I say unto you, what things soever ye desire when ye pray, believe that you receive them, and ye shall have them. Right? That's a beautiful thing. When you're praying, make sure you believe in what you're praying for.
Right.
Right? It's like going. It's like when if you're praying without the belief, you might as well don't even pray at all. Right? You need to build your faith up before you step to the Most High and send up that prayer. Ask the Most High to build your faith up in prayer.
No, that's real. That's a chin check on me, man. Like, cause sometimes I'll be like that. I'll be praying, and I'll be like, I don't know, man. But this is a chin check. Like, that's real. You gotta believe, like you already got it. You gotta believe that you're gonna definitely get it.
You should believe it before you even think of the prayer.
Say that again.
I said you should believe it before you even think about it.
Right. Con. Because if we don't, then that's like doubting the Most High. Like you doubting the ability or capabilities of the Most High.
Let me get Jeremiah 32 and verse 27 real quick. Right? Because this is for you, Asher, because if you said that was a chin check on you, then we gotta go into the precepts then and see. Let's expand on that. Let's expound on that thing.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 32, and what verse 27? Behold, I am the Most High, the power of all flesh. Is there anything?
Read again.
Behold, I am the Most High,
Hmm.
the Yahweh of all flesh. Is there anything too hard for me?
Right? Is there anything too hard for the Most High?
No, that's real. No,
Is there anything too hard for him to do for you?
no.
Right? This ain't no prosperity thing, right? But
N-
is there anything too hard for the Most High to do for you, man? Right?
No.
So there's nothing too hard for the Most High. That's why you definitely have to believe in the prayers that you send up, man. And your prayers are even more powerful because you're keeping the commandments of God, man. Right? So let's go back to Matthew 5. Khan. The water sis, all praise the Most High. Matthew chapter 5.
38, 40. Okay. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 40.
Mm-hmm.
42. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 5, and verse 42. So,
Mm-hmm.
give to him that asketh thee, and from him that would borrow of thee, turn not thou away.
Right. So if someone's gonna borrow something from you, make sure you don't turn them away. Right. You're not looking to help your brother. Right. You got to be in. When Moses seen his two brothers striving like that, and he killed that Egyptian, that's the spirit you got to be in with when someone needs help with anything. Right. It's not just fighting. You got to look at the spiritual aspect of him killing that Egyptian. Right. He's killing the problem. Right. So you got to be that brother to kill the problem for your other brothers.
That's real.
So you got to remember that. And even if y'all got like an art with each other, you got to be able to kill that art, just like Moses killed that Egyptian, because all that is a spirit. You got to kill that spirit, man. Right? Or that spirit's gonna kill you. Right? And the brother brought out a precept. Let's get that. Oh, he already got it on the screen. I'll read it. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 18, verse 23. Before thou prayest, prepare thyself, and be not as one that tempted the Most High. Right. So when you pray, make sure you think about what you're saying before you say it. Right. The Most High ain't your homeboy. Like, hey, look, Father, I was chilling the other day.
A little bit, dog. You know I'm back once again.
We already know you the man upstairs. So
right. you know you my nigga.
That's off as hell.
That's crazy, man.
Don't do nothing like that.
That's how Jake moved for real.
The Most High, right? And the example of that is in actually, let's get that. When Satan came to Yahushua, Matthew. Shoot, let me get this. So look, 1 second, family. Matthew chapter 4. Matthew chapter 4. Verse 5.
It's the book of Matthew, chapter 4, and verse 5.
Mm-hmm.
The devil taketh him up into the holy city and setteth him on a pinnacle of the temple, and saith unto him, if thou be the Son of God, cast thyself down, for it is written, he shall give his angels charge concerning thee, and in their hands they shall bear thee up, lest at any time thou dash thy foot against a stone.
So you see that Satan's using scripture against Yahushua right now. That's Psalms 91, right? I believe verse 10 and 11. Right? He using scripture. He said he brought him to a high point, a pinnacle of the temple, the highest point on the temple, and said, throw yourself down because the angel is going to protect you. Right? And what did Yahushua say next in verse 7?
Verse 7, Yahushua answered and said unto him, it is written again, thou shalt not tempt the Lord thy God.
So he said, I'm not going to do something just to prove to you. Like when it's saying tempt the Most High, you're literally trying to like make him do stuff for you just because you're doing right. It's trying to get it into words. I have it in my head, right?
What is
so you're not gonna do something like, I could give like a camp example, right? We know Esau going into slavery, right? And you know he's gonna be our slaves.
Right.
Simple as that, right? So we're not gonna go up and chain Esau right in the middle of the street because the Most High said that. We're tempting and then expecting the Most High to protect us, right? Like you're tempting the Most High at that point, right? By him like forcing himself down that pinnacle is tempting the Most High because it's already written in your scripture. So now you're trying to tempt him to do things for you, willingly, like you're doing it intentionally for him to save you. Right? And you're not supposed to tempt the Most High in that aspect. That's wrong. Right? Another example would be like I'm trying to think of like a parent-son relationship example. Like let's say your father's teaching you how to box, right? And he said, if you do this move right here, it's a one-hitter quitter. And then you go to school and you just intentionally going to fight somebody because your pop's
yeah.
Right? Now you trying your father right there because you're not doing these things intentionally, right? So let's go back to Matthew 5. Matthew 5. Let's try to get through Matthew 5. In verse 41.
This book of Matthew chapter 5, verse 41.
Or 42, Salah.
42. Give to him that asketh thee, and from him that would borrow of thee, turn not thou away. Ye have heard that it hath been said, thou shalt love thy neighbor and hate thine enemy. But I say unto you, love your enemies, bless them that curse you.
Right. So this is very important. He's saying to love your enemies, right? And we know that's not talking about the other nations, right? Because people can take that and say, oh, that's the other nations. We gotta blah blah blah, love our enemies. And that would just go against prophecy. When someone takes you to that route, you got to go to prophecy. You got to go to the book of Obadiah. You got to go to them taking their babies and happy shall he be. All these different prophecies, right? That the Most High speaks of when it comes to what we have to do to our enemies, right? So it says to love your enemies, right? What does that mean? Like, what does that mean? To someone that's an enemy to you, right? A brother or sister that's coming against you, right? How do you do that? How do you take this and put it into your life right now, right? By reading the last few verses we just read and seeing how we can amend these things. That's showing love to your enemy, right? What can we do to squash this and get through this, right? So let's read that verse again, 44.
Verse 44. But I say unto you, love your enemies, bless them. Love your enemies, bless them that curse you. Do good to them that hate you, and pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you.
Right. So this is to the utmost power, because even Yahushua, when he was on the cross, told the Most High to forgive them, for they know not what they do. Right. That's a different type of love, because they were enemies to Yahushua at that point. But he told Yahweh to forgive them, for they know not what they do. Right. And that's the type of spirit we got to move in when it comes to people that's an enemy against you, or people that are hating on you. Right. You got a precept?
I got a precept.
Go ahead.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 25 and verse 21.
I'll read it for you.
Read that.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 25, verse 21. If thine enemy be hungry, give him bread to eat.
What?
Give him bread to eat.
Read on.
And if he be thirsty, give him water to drink.
Read on.
For thou shalt heap coals of fire upon his head, and the Lord shall reward thee.
And the Most High shall reward you. This is how we're supposed to deal with our quote-unquote enemy. When it's concerning the scriptures, when we talking, and we're not just talking about, the other nations as our enemy. We're talking about our own people being our own enemy. Because there's times where scriptures refer as our own people as enemies. We'll have enemies within our own household. But this is one way how we could spiritually combat an enemy within our household or an enemy within our nation. How to deal with them properly. We supposed to when they hungry, we feed them. When they thirsty, we give them something to drink. Because it kills that spirit quickly. They'll be like, their spirit will be all type of jacked up. They wouldn't know what to do with themselves. Dang, bro. This brother gave me something to drink. This brother gave me something. This brother gave me food when I was hungry. I'm mad. I don't like this brother, but he just keep doing good. Why he keep doing good on me? Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Maybe I'm the one that's tripping. You know what? Let me pray to the Most High and ask for forgiveness and repent. Let me change, because this brother been doing good to me since the moment he seen me. Even though I dislike this brother know I dislike him, but he keep doing good on me. Let me get right. That's how the spirit works. This is how you operate to kill that spirit, that beefing spirit, that striving spirit. So I yield that.
Con, that's just definitely another aspect of trying to amend things,
right?
Trying to make things work, right? So let's go back to Matthew 5. Con, beautiful precept.
Con, this is the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 44. But I say unto you, love your enemies, bless them that curse you, do good to them that hate you, and pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you. That
right,
ye
so
may.
There's going to be people out there that's going to despitefully use you and persecute you of your own nation, and it's telling you to love them through that and pray for them through that. Right? How much pride you got to give up to be on that type of level? That's the next level. Right? You know, Christians talk about being Christ-like, but that's being Christ-like right there. Right? That's walking in the ways of Yahushua. Right? It's to love them that curse you. They're throwing curses on you. It says to give them blessings back. Right? It's saying they're despitefully using you. They're intentionally using you. Right? And persecuting you. Right? What does it mean to persecute? Let me get that real quick. Let me get that definition real fast. Persecute. Persecute. Definition. It says, let me get it in the blue letter, actually. Okay, for persecute, it says to make, to run, to flee, or to flee, put to flight, drive away. Make sure I got the right.
The Google definition is pretty good.
Con, go
ahead. Persecute, subject someone to hostility and ill treatment, especially because of their ethnicity, religion, sexual orientation, or their political beliefs. Similarities or similars, oppress, abuse, victimize, ill-treat, mistreat, maltreat.
Okay, so basically they're doing you wrong.
Right. Out of harsh intent.
Yeah, because persecute is a strong word.
No, it is.
So let's go back to 45.
Okay. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 5, and verse 45.
It Or you can start at verse 44.
For verse 44. But I say unto you, love your enemies, bless them that curse you, do good to them that hate you, and pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you, that ye may be the children of your Father which is in heaven. For he maketh his sun to rise on the evil and on the good, and sendeth rain on the just and on the unjust.
Right. So this meaning right here says, for he maketh his sun to rise on the evil and the good. The sun rises on the evil and the good. And the rain is always going to rain on the just and the unjust. Right. But let Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai be the judge, though, of all these matters. Don't take judgment into your own hands. Right. That's what it's letting you know. The rain and the sun shows on the righteous and the wicked.
Right.
But the Most High going to be the judge to handle business and keep things in order. Right, even if you don't see it. Right, so let's go to verse 46.
Verse 46. For if ye love them which love you, what reward have ye? Do not even the publicans the same?
Right, so if you're only loving the ones that love you, right, like let's say your brother fall out of truth, and you're like, oh, F that bro, I know he was really in it anyways, but I got my 5 brothers right here, we down. Right, and I love them brothers. I don't need his love. Right, that's not a good spirit to move in. Right, if a brother fall out of the truth, you're doing everything in your power to gain that brother back. Right, that's when you put these precepts to the test. Right, those are the times where you're supposed to be going in. Right, pulling up to the crib. Right, bringing the yayan, whatever you got to do.
Right.
You have to talk it out and get this thing straight, man. Right. That's a different type of love you got to show to your brothers, man. And that's a different type of you're not supposed to put away, you're not supposed to have your pride in it when you're trying to gain a brother or you're trying to amend things, right? Someone that's offended. You put all pride away and you move into that humility spirit, right? That humble spirit, right? Because what was the first thing Moses did? Every time somebody offended the Most High or even offended him, the first thing he did was he bowed to the floor and saying, forgive the Most High, or moving in some type of like, just like, oh, nah, boom, go.
Yeah, humble and humility way.
Come on, so like the brother, like when the Levites came and said, bring your censer, I'm gonna bring mine. Before that even happened, he went to the Most High about it. Then he said, all right, bring my censer, I'll bring mine, let's get down. Right? But usually all the time, Moses is always pleading for the children of Israel. And that's how you have to plead for your brothers and sisters. Right? That's how you have to plead for your brothers and sisters. That's true brotherhood and sisterhood. Right? Because the thing is, like, you're going to go through ups and downs with your brothers and your sisters. Right? They may not like you for the first year, the first 2 years, you being in the truth with them. Right? But if the Most High's will be done, it will be done when it comes to you applying the precepts, right? Let the Most High deal with that. You don't take that into your own hands, because once you take it into your own hands, you gave them the power, right? Once you start moving out of the way of the Most High, you gave the enemy the power. You gave those spirits the power, right? So you got to be able to let the Most High do his work, and you just handle what you have to handle on your end, right? If you handle your business on your end and apply what Yahweh Shai said right here, when it comes to your brothers and your sisters, everything's going to be all right, even if it don't look like it's all right. And you have to remember that and keep the faith and the belief in that too, right? Because we just read earlier, if you don't believe what you're reading, if you don't believe what you're applying, what you're reading, it's going to come to naught. It's going to be nothing. So you have to believe that everything is going to work out, right, when it comes to your brother and your sister. All right, so let's go back to verse 46. Read that again.
Come on, verse 46. For if ye love them which love you, what reward have ye? Do not even the publicans the same?
Right, the publicans are the tax collectors. The tax collectors used to be a little group in those times, in ancient times, and they would all be down for each other and not for the people, right? Kind of like police officers, right? They say blue lives matter or something like that, right? They move together. Right? They look at each other more than they look at the community they're supposed to be protecting. Right? And then nobody likes the Nobody likes the police officers for the things they've been doing to our people, but they stand for each other though. The police officers stand for each other, no matter what color it is, right? But even that's a whole nother topic, man. Let's go to verse 47.
Verse 47.
Mhm.
And if you salute your brethren only, what do ye more than others? Do not even the publicans so?
Right. So even that, for example, like if I'm only saluting the brothers from Lee County, like, well, we only putting in work, nobody else. We've been doing this thing, blah 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 blah. Man, shout out to Lee County, man. Like the rest of the LOZ, I don't know what they got going on. Right. If I move in that spirit, right, I'm moving just like the publicans.
Right.
I'm moving just like the people I do not want to deal with or do not want to be like. Right. So make sure you're saluting everybody. Right. Salute all your brothers and your sisters, just as if you would salute the people that are even more closer to you. Because of course you're gonna have people that are closer to you in this truth, right? But you still show that love to everybody, though. Make sure of that, right? So read that 47 again.
Come on, verse 47.
Mm-hmm.
If ye salute your brethren only, what do ye more than others?
Mm-hmm.
Do not even the publicans so?
Mm-hmm.
Be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect. Take heed, ye do not your alms before men, to be seen of them, otherwise ye have no reward of your Father which is in heaven.
Con, right? So we see that that's a part of the perfection process, right? How we deal with each other as a people. That is the part of being perfect in the eyes of the Most High. Not perfect that you think of when you make a mistake. Oh, I'm not perfect anymore. Or you fell short. Oh, I'm not perfect. That's not what perfect is. Perfect is you continuing to strive to be refined, right? Refined in the laws of the Most High, right? So let's see an example. Let's see how King David moved when it came to it. Give me 2 Samuel 16 and verse 5. So this is when David was on the run. He committed the act already, the adultery. The Most High gave him the judgment, right? And now he's on the run, and he understands that he's going through the judgment of the Most High, right? So go ahead and read verse 5.
(16) and verse 5.
Come
on. This is the book of 2 Samuel, chapter 16, verse 5.
Mm-hmm.
And when King David came to Baharim, behold, thence came out a man of the family of the house of Saul, whose name was Shimei, and the son of Gerah. He came forth and cursed still as he came.
Right. So he cursing, carrying on. Right. Shimei is from the children of, he's from the sons of Benjamin. You know how Benjamin get down when they cursing and carrying.
You're right. I can hear it. I can hear it right now.
Mm-hmm. So he's cursing them. We just read earlier. He said, "Bless them that curse you." Right. Let's see how David move right here. Right, because David's moving with his mighty men right here. Remember that. Right. Those men that he was moving in. I believe. I forgot the precept, but he had some mighty men with him that was killing lion-like men and all these different things. Right. So let's see what David does. Go ahead.
Verse 6. And he cast stones at David and at all the servants of King David.
Right.
And
so he's casting stones and cursing them. Right. I know them stones hurt for sure. Right. Go ahead.
And all the people and all the mighty men were on his right hand and on his left. And thus said Shimei when he cursed, come out, thy bloody man, and thou man of Belial.
Calling him a man of the devil. Said you a man of Belial, right? A wicked spirit.
And mind you, he's surrounded
by mighty men.
He's surrounded by mighty men. Like he don't like that. He's in such anger. He doesn't realize the threat that's actually around him right now as he's cursing David.
Yep.
Knowing that they're on David's side and you know they have a certain loyalty for David that they will smite this man on the spot with no questions asked if David just even did a head nod.
Right.
Just that's just crazy to me.
And the amount of power that David has in this instance and how he
Yes.
moves here is amazing, because it reminds me of when Christ said, "Think not that I could send 12 legions of angels down right now and tear this place up," paraphrasing, right? But he didn't, because he knew that he had to go through what he had to go through. And so does David right here. He knew he had to go through what he had to go through because of what he did, right?
Right.
Nathan gave him the judgment already. So he knew he was in the middle of that judgment right now. Right? So let's see how David moved.
God, the Most High hath returned upon thee all the blood of the house of Saul, in whose stead thou hast reigned, and the Lord have delivered the kingdom into the hand of Absalom thy son. And behold,
so he was talking crazy. He said that you were the reason Saul died, and the Most High gave the kingdom to Absalom, your son. Right? That's your judgment. Right? So go ahead.
God, and behold, thou art taken in thy mischief, because thou art a bloody man.
Mm-hmm.
Then said Abishai, the son
one of the
of
mighty men. Right? Go ahead.
Then said Abishai, the son of Zeruiah, unto the king,
Mm-hmm.
should this dead dog curse my Otawan, the king?
Mm-hmm.
Let me go over, I pray thee, and take off his head.
Look at that. So Abishai said, "Man, let me go over there and knock his head loose.
Let me do this man in, bro. Let me put him 6 feet deep."
Right? And how many people you know that would be like, how many people you know in your life right now that's ready to just pop off and hit anybody up at any time?
Facts.
Right? And that's the spirit that we don't need to be moving it, man. You got to analyze things, man. What I say is watch the movie. Sometimes you got to watch the movie, man. Right? You know, when you're watching a scary movie and you telling them, "Oh, don't go through the door. They go through the door. Don't go through the door." They go through the door and they die, right? Right? You got to be able to do the same thing. Watch the movie and keep the advice in your head and apply the advice. And the advice is the scriptures. Right? Watch the movie. Watch the movie. That's like I say this all the time. When I'm speaking to other people, I look at them, they're like they're a movie. And I listen to their movie. Right? And then I insert myself into the movie, which is inserting myself into their shoes, right? And see how I move. And now I'm that person on the screen right now saying, "Don't do this, don't do this," because I read the wisdom. I'm like, "All right, don't do this, don't do that." But I'm watching your movie, right? I hope y'all catching my drift. I'm trying to make it simple, right? So sometimes instead of reacting to certain things, you got to be able to watch and pray, right? So don't react in that moment, because you can't react off impulse. You can't react off emotion. You got to react off of the wisdom. Right?
And this is wisdom too. Like whenever like you in a heated situation with somebody and they say something wild and you want to respond, count the 5 before you make a rebuttal response.
God, that's gonna be the longest
count the 5
of their life.
Right. Let you count the 5 before you give a solid answer on a person for a person. Because if you just going off what you think in your head and you just spurt out anything out your head, you might say something to cause a major offense and then things could go left. And you look like the wicked man in the situation, when you actually supposed to be the righteous man and the bigger person in the whole ordeal. So, and this is what David really exemplified. You know what I'm saying? So let's get back to it. Verse 10.
Do verse 9 again.
Okay, come on. Verse 9. Then said Abishai the son of Zeruiah unto the king, "Why should this dead dog curse my Otawan the king? Let me go over, I pray thee, and take off his head." And the king said, "What have I to do with you, ye sons of Zeruiah? So let him curse, because the Lord hath said unto him, curse David. Who shall then say, wherefore hast thou done so?"
Wait, hold on. I don't think anybody catching what's going on right here. Read it again.
God. This is the book of 2 Samuel chapter 16 and verse 10. And the king said,
Mhm.
what have I to do with you, ye sons of Zerai?
Mhm.
So let him curse.
Let him curse, right? Let him say what he got to say, right? Let that person or whoever you got to art with do whatever they do, right? Remember this, right? Now keep reading.
So let him curse, because the Lord hath said unto him, curse David.
What happened right here? What happened? Because what?
the Lord hath said unto him, curse David.
The Most High sent a spirit onto him to say, curse David. The Most High did that.
Right.
Right? So imagine David went and killed that person. Now he got blood on his hand because the Most High told him to do that instead of just waiting things out. You see that?
And that's real, because David was analyzing the whole situation even prior up to him walking up. Because he was like, I know David was sitting there and he was like, why is this brother walking past all these mighty men and cursing and throwing stones at them while he's yelling at me? This got to be a spirit. Because there's nobody in their right mind will be that brave to walk up on these mighty men. These great mighty men at that. To be cursing my name. This is a spirit. So you know what? I know it's a spirit. I realize it's a spirit, and I'm gonna deal with it as it being a spirit, and not get riled up in my own spirit. And now we both going off. He peeped that. That was I say that was wisdom being what is the right word? Being shown.
Yep.
In this instant.
Come.
Because verse 11.
Read it from the top.
Verse 10. And the king said, what have I to do with you, ye sons of Zerai? So let him curse, because the Lord hath said unto him, curse David. Who shall then say, wherefore hast thou done so?
Right? Who's gonna say, why are you doing this? Right? Why is this happening right now? We already know it's of the Most High.
Right.
So go to verse 11.
Verse 11. And David said unto Abishai and to all his servants, behold, my son which came forth of my bowels seeketh my life.
So how much more is trying to kill him? Right? Go ahead.
Seeketh my life. How much more now may this Benjamite do it? Let him alone, and let him curse, for the Most High hath bidden him. It may be that the Most High will look on my affliction, and that the Lord will requite me good for his cursing this day.
So it may be that the Most High, for him cursing him and David not doing anything, and the Most High seeing his affliction and what he's going through, the Most High is gonna bless him.
And hold on, and mind you, he's rebuking King David for what he did. That's why he was up there cursing him the way he was. He was rebuking him as his brother. And David, bro, this is crazy, bro. Like, this is blowing my mind. Like of what's going on in the situation. David realized it was a spirit of him rebuking him. He realized that spirit. He was saying, this is the Most High cursing me, but I know he's rebuking me because he's doing what he's supposed to do as a brother. He's correcting me even though I did wrong. Yes, I did wrong. Now I can admit to it, and I pray that the Most High see my account my requite of good of me for mine affliction. He said this brother wise.
God.
This is a wise brother, man.
David was essentially watching the movie right there, and he was like, you know what? I'm gonna let the Most High do his will on this one. I ain't even gonna act on it. And that's how some of our people need to be moving, man. Right? Let the Most High do his work. If you say you believe in the Most High, then let him do his work when it comes to certain things, man. Right? Sometimes you just gotta sit back and relax. Right? We see all these things going on in Palestine and the fake people and wars going. The rumors of wars is going on.
Right?
What are we supposed to do? Suit up and boot up? And go out there too? You're supposed to sit back and relax. So in certain situations, personally, that's going on in your life, if you know you're doing right by the Most High, you know you're doing what you have to do, sit back and relax, please, man. and let the Most High do His work, because the Most High will be the judge of who's doing what they're supposed to do and who's doing not.
Right. You should just be getting right.
Because when you read further on in this story, when you read further on this story, when King Solomon comes into play, Shammai ends up being killed, put to death later on. And I believe personally that had to have happened because of what he was doing with King David. Right here. Right? Let me see. You keep reading actually. Because he said all of this, and Shammai is still going in.
And verse 13.
Mm-hmm.
And as David and his men went by the way, Shammai went along the hillside over against him and cursed as he went and threw stones at him and cast dust.
Right, and so he's still by the hillside. That's the end of that. He's still by the hillside still throwing stones after David saying all these things. Right? So I bet his mighty men learned something that day. Because his mighty men was ready to move and get busy.
Yeah, they were too built. I'll say they were too built for war, man.
Mm-hmm.
They were too quick. They got a little too quick with the sword, rather than being quick with their ears and their minds and their eyes and seeing what was going on.
Mm-hmm. And that's why
they were too quick.
Actually, let's get that precept with the 12. It's in Matthew.
But I gotta give props to. I'm not gonna lie. I gotta give all props to David though. Like, because the fact that he was able to analyze the situation and to deal with it accordingly, like, and to realize what was happening and what was really going on, like that's to me personally, that's high level of wisdom, bro. Because most brothers will get hemmed up with that. Like somebody, imagine a brother coming up to you, he cursing you out, he calling you all type of names, he throwing trash at you, hitting you with bottles and rocks and all that,
all kind of stuff.
Right, he doing all of that, he wilding out. And for David to sit there and say, "That's a spirit." He's amongst. He don't realize he's encamped around me and my people. I can have him done up right now. But this is a spirit from the Most High for him to curse me. And I know if I react a certain way, if I reacted in a righteous way, the Most High gonna look on me and be like, "Good job. I'm gonna get you right." And that's the thing, like, if he would have moved on that, he would have been stopping the will of the Most High. Right.
The Most High wanted that to happen.
Right.
So when people coming at you and going crazy on you, and you reacting, and you're stopping something that's supposed to happen.
Sometimes you just gotta sit there,
take your boat and ride the wave, man.
Right. Just sit there. I'll just say, sit there and take the beating, take the whooping. You just gotta. Sometimes you just like. Hold on, Salah. I gotta to the most wisest man that I've known, that I've got the pleasure to know. Minister Shalimar. He says sometimes you just gotta hold that L. And this is what David did. He was holding his L and peeped his L and said, "You know what? Albeit, you got that, brother. Let me go about my business."
Right. And he said, "Hopefully, the Most High will look on this."
Right.
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 I know David was mad. He had to have been mad in certain. It's like, what? But he had to process. He had to go through a council in his mind to come up with that and be like, "You know what? The Most High gonna look at this and do what he got."
Right.
Right. And that's what we need to do as well. So Yahushua was moving in that same spirit right here. Move Matthew 26 and verse 51.
Was it Matthew 26
and verse 51?
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 26, and verse 51. And behold,
start at verse 50. Salah.
Verse 50. And Yahushua said unto him, "Friend, where art thou come?" Then came they and laid hands on Yahushua and took him. And behold, one of them which were with Yahushua stretched out his hand and drew his sword and struck a servant of the high priest and smote off his ear. Then said Yahushua unto him, put up again thy sword into his place, for all they that take the sword shall perish with the sword. Thinkest thou that I cannot now pray to my Father, and he shall presently give me more than 12 legions of angels?
Right. He said, put up your sword. Salah. He said, put up your sword. Right. In that instance, they was taking Yahushua. They was about to bring him and do what they're gonna do.
Right.
Right. He said, put up your sword, man. Right. You know how much wisdom you gotta have, like in a situation like that, to say, don't protect me right here. Let me do this.
let the Most High will be done, man. Put up the sword, man. You stopping the Father's will, man. You tripping. You going off. Right. Cut it out.
You think that I can't send 12 legions of angels? You know what a legion is? A legion is like a group or a huge group. Like one legion could be like 1,000 to 100,000 people. But he said he could send 12 of them right now. Right? So read verse 53.
Oh my gosh. I just looked up legion. So
what did it say?
Bro, it says a legion is composed of around 5,000 soldiers. So a legion, imagine.
He said I could send 60,000 angels right now coming down on your head.
On your head top, like on their head top, no problem.
Right.
I could summon that. Get out the way.
Right.
That's crazy.
So go ahead. Go on verse 53.
Verse 53. Thinkest thou that I cannot now pray to my Father, and he shall presently give me more than 12 legions of angels? But how then shall the scriptures be fulfilled, that thus it must be?
Right. So it says, if y'all doing this, how are we going to fulfill prophecy? How are we going to fulfill the will of the Most High? Same thing with David back there. He said, if I went and killed that man, how am I going to fulfill the will of the Most High? Right. And the same thing with you. If you have an art with somebody and they not hearing you, and you and y'all end up fighting or whatever, and you in the mix, how are you going to fulfill the will of the Most High? Because you know what the Most High's will is, right? That we keep the commandments and we do what we have to do whenever he brings us these trials and tribulations, right? Same concept, man. Right. So go to verse 55. Yeah, read verse 55.
Verse 55. In that same hour, said Yahushua to the multitudes, are ye come out as against a thief with swords and staves for to take me? I sat daily with you, teaching in the temple, and ye laid no hold on me. But all this was done that the scriptures of the prophets might be fulfilled. Then all the disciples forsook him and fled.
Right. So he said all this was done so that the scriptures of the prophets might be fulfilled. That's what's being talked about. Right. So when you read Matthew 5:17, or it says the law is fulfilled, this is what's being fulfilled. The scriptures of the prophets is being fulfilled, not the law itself, where you don't have to do it anymore. Right. Just a little gee whiz, a little star, asterisk, all that, you know.
Right. And that's so also
go ahead.
That's a lot. And that's also a cut. You know what I'm saying? That we know that Christ was on the scene, you know, that he was supposed to suffer, and you know he was supposed to be forgiveness onto Israel, and giving us a sense of grace, right? And Christians believe that the laws are done away with, but the two greatest commandments is to love the Most High and to love thy neighbor like thyself. Now, if the laws were done away with, that means we don't have to love the Most High no more. That means we don't have to give a crap about our brother. You know what I'm saying? So that means that we could still be proud. That means Christians will believe that we'll still be able to allow to have our pride. That we could still have the a pride within ourselves to say, "Nah, I'm good. It's me and the other side," because the laws are done away with. Because Christ died for all my sins. Christ done away with the law.
And that's the thing, like that brother who we did like that class on Friday, man. Shout out to the uppercut class for Lee County. Make sure y'all tune in, man. And all the classes we have the Tuesday class,
Bring it out.
show, right? We got, of course, the Wednesday wisdom. We got Friday night's class, the history class at the headquarters, and we have, of course, Friday at uppercuts. Choose what you want to do, right? But dang, I lost my train of thought. I was gonna say something. Damn, what was I saying earlier before I shouted out all the classes?
Christ fulfilled.
I
was trying to kickstart your memories out. I tried.
It's all good. But yeah, man. We went through Matthew 5, went through a good, in-depth breakdown. Got an example from David and how you're supposed to move in a time when your brothers are doing things against you, or coming and persecuting you, or using you. Right? How you're supposed to move. Right? Let the Most High's will be done and not our will. All right, just remember that whenever you go through things, let the Most High's will be done and not our will. All right, and I'll strengthen you, and I hope y'all have a great rest of the week, man. And the preparation day coming up, man. All praise be to the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, man. Shout out to all the brothers out there in the four corners of the earth, keeping the commandments and going out into the streets, man. And it's heating up.
All right.
But we're gonna stay strong, man, and stay down. All praise be to the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. It's your brother, Captain Nathaniel Allah, and to my right,
Officer Asher.
And I say Shalom, family. Hallelujah. Oh, and Shalom, Sister Yeshua. All praise.
Yeah.